All right, let's jump into some LSU, huh? LSU Tigers were a program that got talked a lot about during this whole offseason situation because the coaching carousel was spinning and spinning and spinning. And next thing you know, Brian Kelly relocates from South Bend, Indiana, shows up at your pep rally in Baton Rouge, apparently developed a Southern accent along the way, and now he's your head coach. So what is the state of LSU football? And if you're an LSU fan, here's my question I would pose to you in terms of your happiness revolving around year one. When you get onto an airplane, are you upset because you're not at the destination yet? Or are you pleased because the plane is heading the right direction? I think that's kind of where we're at right now in year one under Brian Kelly. This thing is just now taken off. It's just now starting to develop its direction. It's kind of charting its coordinates, if you will. What LSU is today is not what they're going to be in year three under Brian Kelly. So for LSU fans that are saying, we got this elite head coach, we went and got a quarterback in the portal, we got tons of talent, we took more transfers than anybody in college football, we should be elite. I would say LSU should be elite. I truly believe LSU will be elite in the not too distant future. But if you're upset with this year, I would say why? Plane's in the air. Plane's going to the right place. I promise you want to go to the destination that Brian Kelly has taken you to. More on that in a second here. It's going the right spot. The reality is context is everything, right? When it comes to LSU, there is so much context that is crucial. You rented a quarterback. Shea Dixon said that perfectly on the Bengal Tiger, our LSU on 3 site. Follow Shea, get a membership to that page as well. But he said that perfectly because that's really what happened. You felt like you needed to go get a guy that could help get things going in year one. Jayden Daniels probably needed you as much as you felt like you needed him. And that's what's happening right now. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Because guess what else? You have musical chairs going on at the offensive line unit. Every single week, they have a hat, sort of shake up all the names. They go through and pick the name out and say, okay, that's where you're starting this week. That's, of course, I'm exaggerating here, but that's kind of what it feels like. There's so much lack of continuity, rather, on the LSU offensive line. And that is a thing that I don't know that it's getting talked about enough, quite frankly, because the offensive line is what makes the offense go. And, also, by the way, we talked about that whole more transfers than anybody else in college football. Well, that is very much something that takes time to bake. And I think a lot of these programs around college football have set an unrealistic expectation for different fan bases. Let's look at USC for a second. Similar position to LSU, one of the elite programs, right? One of the elite brands in college football. They go get themselves a winner, a Lincoln Riley. Check. Go get themselves a pretty outstanding transfer portal class. Check. It's working right away in year one. Will they make the college football playoff? Depends on who you ask. It's probably another video for another time, but it's working. The machine is humming. Here's the deal with LSU, though. You say you kind of comparing their transfer class and your transfer class and your first-year head coach, their first-year head coach. Well, guess what, folks? The Pac-12 and the SEC West are very different climates, very different places to grow your program in. This LSU operation right now is still baking. It's still coming together. What it's going to be in a couple of years is not what it is today. And you brought Brian Kelly here because of what it's going to be in a couple of years. You didn't bring him here for 2022. 2022 is a revamp. Vegas will tell you that. Over-under was 7 wins. Won 6 games last year. This is going to work. Brian Kelly is very much so what LSU needed. Structure, discipline, direction, going back to that plane metaphor, they're going to the right place. Whenever you have something that's broken, whether it's pipes or a computer or your Wi-Fi, you know what I'm talking about. Someone comes in, they fix it, and then they tell you, hey, turn it off, turn it back on, let it run. Let it get all the bad out and all the good in. That's what's happening at LSU. Brian Kelly is fixing this program. Turn it off, turn it on. Now it's starting to run. It's filtering out all the bad, getting in all the good. And if you don't think that Brian Kelly has some stake in the game, maybe you're saying he just wanted to get out of South Bend, Indiana. He just wanted to come to the SEC and compete against the best, get a nice big paycheck. I'm sure percentage of that is true, but you have to remember this. Brian Kelly is still trying to get himself a national title. He wouldn't have left Notre Dame if he didn't feel that way. The pressure is also on Brian Kelly because he, in not so many words, said, I didn't have what I needed at Notre Dame. At LSU, they're going to give me everything I need. Well, now guess who has no excuses? It's Brian Kelly. The pressure is on him. Just as much as you might feel like you want to see something from LSU, I promise you Brian Kelly wants it just as bad for reasons that go beyond just being able to be competitive on the football field. He wants to hoist some hardware, all right? I think that's enough to be said about that. Louisiana recruiting, the resources, and the fact that Brian Kelly is a proven winner, won 81% of his career games, LSU is going to be okay. So for LSU fans, get on the plane, kick your feet up, watch a movie, take a nap, get some peanuts, whatever you want to do on your flight as you get to where this thing is going, just be patient. The plane is going the right direction. For us, that's the state of LSU Tiger football in Baton Rouge. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.